everyone, welcome back to Newsroom. I'm Chella Smith. This is your Middle East U.S. entertainment news on YouTube. I air on Fridays, bringing you the latest on reforms and economics based on reports put out by the Middle East news media outlets. I do this weekly review and it's based off my interest. Thank you everyone for joining me. Last week we talked about Iraq's growth, meetings with United Nations and the PUK. This week, let's take a look at the headlines. Shafak News reports the Iraqi Stock Exchange announced Sunday that shares were traded with a value of more than 5 billion dinars during the past week. The market said in a report that numbers of the companies where shares were traded during the past week amounted to 46 joint stock companies, while the shares of 43 companies were not traded due to the lack of convergence of purchase orders prices with sale orders, while 14 companies continue to be suspended for not providing disclosure out of 103 companies listed on the market. It is noteworthy that the Iraqi Stock Exchange organizes 5 trading sessions a week from Sunday to Thursday, and including 103 Iraqi joint stock companies representing the sector of banking, telecommunications, industry, agriculture, insurance, financial investment, tourism, and hotel. Shafak News then reported that the foreign remittance from the dollar of the expense of cash sales increased by more than 90% at the opening of the Central Bank of Iraq's auctions. Shafak News agency's correspondent stated that the central bank sold during its auctions for buying and selling U.S. dollars to 211,575,844 U.S. dollars, which covered by the banks at the base of exchange rate of 1460 dinars per dollar. Our correspondents added that 9.5% of those sales went to enhance balances abroad in the form of remittance and credit, which amounted to $191,975,844, while the rest went to form of cash sales, which amounted to $19,600,000. He pointed out that 33 banks have fulfilled requests to enhance balances abroad, and 13 banks has responded to cash requests in addition to 140 mediation companies. Shafak News reported the Prime Minister of the Kyrgyzstan Regional Government, Mauzer Barzani, agrees to allocate an amount of 356 billion dinars for water projects in all governments and in the independent administration in the region. A statement by the Media and Information Department of the Kyrgyzstan Regional Government said that within the framework of the 9th formation of the regional's government, paying attention to projects and services and in light of delivering services to citizens, reducing the risk of spreading disease, protecting groundwater and reducing drinking water distribution systems by tanks, the Prime Minister agreed. The statement indicated that the projects included repairing portable water transmission lines and as well as repairing water and sewage project tanks. The project also included the design and development of the advanced SCADA system and the start of strategic projects for the water treatment plant. Baghdad Magazine News reported the industrial bank reveals an increase in rates and industrial growth in the country due to high exchange rates of the dollar, while stressing that the opening of new branches in the province needs a financial allocation within the budget. The director of the bank said that the central bank's initiative is excellent for medium and large projects, and its duration is 15 years, and the average interest is 2%, and for large projects 3%. Noting that we have started working on initiatives, but Iraq needs thousands of factories, and we are trying to provide loans, hundreds of factories. He pointed out that Industrial Bank is self-financing and has the capital to lend to customers, but there is an increase in the size of national industry and the demand specifically, noting that there's previous years the request for loans came for projects under establishments and new within limits of 100 to 150, and currently the demand reaches for thousands, and this is because the exchange rate changed, which led to importers being expensive and local products being cheaper than the importer, which made businessmen, traders, and importers think about setting up factories inside of Iraq. Shafak News then reported the Iraqi Ministry of Trade announced Wednesday new support amounts for farmers and farmer entitlements allocated by the Minister of Finance for Trade. The Minister of Finance allocated an amount of 500 billion new dinars to support the entitlements of farmers for the wheat marketing season for this year. Al-Jabari added that the total amount provided by the Minister of Finance this season has reached 1 trillion Iraqis in the context of supporting the agriculture sector and supporting farmers and marketers of the wheat crops in a way that contributes to increasing agriculture productions and supporting farmers. Al-Jabari's valued the great support provided by the Ministry of Finance, Ali Alawi, in following up on the entitlements of farmers, stressing that the support given by the Minister of Finance for the success of the marketing season this year by paying farmers entitlements contributed greatly to end the file and providing support to their farmers. There really isn't a lot of news this week in regards to economics and reforms. Baghdad Obsess reports the President of the Republic, Barham Saleh, and the Special Representative of the Secretary General of the United Nations in Iraq, Janine Plasheret, stressed on June 1st the importance of getting out of political impasse while stressing the unity of national ranks and the start of meetings' national entitlements. During the meeting, the overall political security and economic development in the country were discussed, noting that it was emphasized the need to enhance security stability and pursue remnants of terrorism that seek to destabilize the security and stability of its citizens in the same region and towns. Janine added that the two sides also stressed the importance of supporting the paths of dialogue and the convergence to get out of the current political impasse, and taking into account many challenges facing the country, which call for bridging the national ranks, addressing outstanding issues in the spirit of responsibility, and embarking on meetings that national entitlements in a way that live up to the aspirations of the Iraqis. You've been watching Newsroom Weekly Review. I'm Chella Smith, your Middle East U.S. entertainment news on reforms and economics, bringing you the latest Dinar news without having to keep up with all the different news outlets. I'm here on YouTube every Friday, so don't forget to subscribe. And if you like my content, give me a thumbs up. Shout out to Currency365 for his continued support. If you want to learn about stocks and cryptos while waiting on the dinar to revalue, you can join him and his crew for the most recent updates. You can find him on YouTube or Patreon. I have been doing a lot of gardening, and in the past week my garden has flooded, so I'll be spending a bit of this weekend recovering my vegetables and fruits. Gardening has been very time consuming but rewarding at the same time. I got to try some of my cherry tomatoes yesterday. They were absolutely delicious. Even my neighbor thought so. A few people have asked me about gardening from an apartment, saying that they didn't think it was possible. But first of all, I want to tell you about this amazing idea that I heard from my brother-in-law. So he said to take gutters, like the ones on our roof, old gutters or even new. You can buy them at Lowe's or you can buy them at Home Depot. I've seen them for as low as like $6 a section, all the way up to like 20 something, depending on how fancy you get. But what you do is you take starter like jalapeno, starter pepper plants, cilantro, chive. You get those starter plants and you place them into the gutters that are attached to your balconies with zip ties, right? Yeah, so you put the plants inside the gutters, you put the soil around the plants, and you water them daily and watch them grow, but you can also have a garden from those apartments. So I thought that was very interesting to learn about. I've seen a lot of very interesting articles on the internet. You can find many on YouTube on how to. So all you have to do is show up and start gardening. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to get to getting on with my weekend. I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday. I'll see you guys next week, everyone. Take care.